Famcast Media, bitch.
Okay, so this is going to be another short video. This literally just popped up in my news feed, and apparently this story is like 1 or 2 days old, so it, like, somehow it flew up under my radar. But a prominent conservative Christian pastor, Bishop Harry Jackson Jr., just recently passed away. God, 2020 and another one is gone. Now, I'm going to try my best not to be an asshole because, you know, he does have a wife. He leaves behind a wife. He leaves behind a lot of kids, and, you know, he did have a family, so. But for those who don't know exactly who Bishop Harry Jackson Jr. is, he was basically one of the leading voices behind the National Organization for Marriage. And he spent the entirety of his career, you know, fighting against gay rights, fighting against gay marriage. And for those who have forgotten, here's a clip.
If marriage is redefined, then the family is redefined, and the family redefined, who has children and how that operates is redefined. If the family's redefined, education's redefined, that's how you get Heather Has Two Mommies being taught to second graders or 8-year-old kids in Massachusetts and California. And folks who cannot reproduce want to recruit your kids.
What we have is a fundamental different view about Christianity at its core. If you take the scriptures very literally, you wind up with my approach that I don't see same-sex marriage in the Bible, and that's not bigotry, it's being faithful to what you believe.
It's going to take a black and brown revolution, us working together in a broader, whatever to call, rainbow coalition, a new rainbow coalition. We need to steal back the rainbow. We can't let the gays have it. We're the rainbow coalition. We're the army of God. We're the covenant people of God. We have got to break the division that has tried to keep us apart.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say, I agree differently than you, but you're a bigot. And I think I'm inclusive, but my belief system makes me more inclusive of certain behaviors, and I'm not a bigot. No, in fact, we have a lot of intolerance on the part of people who feel like they see same-sex marriage in the scriptures because they say, I'm right, you're wrong, you're intolerant, when that's not even intellectually fair.
Well, I don't see that distinctive. You're changing marriage, which is an institution that we know has generational implications. I'm concerned about the next generation, the children. I'm also concerned about the fact that you're saying a father or a mother is not needed. And many blacks are outraged that the civil rights comparison is being made based on their pain, based on their problems, but also based on the fact that marriage, we're talking about now, fundamentally changing the equation, which is 5, 6, 10,000 years old. Who knows how old civilization is? But that's the essence of the argument that I and others like me make.
They want to impose their will on the culture, and if you cannot reproduce, you may try to recruit. And what I mean by that is what's going on is an attempt to reshape, refashion the mind and heart desires of the next generation.
Most gay people I know have straight parents.
Well, that's great. The reality then is if you change marriage, you change the family. And in changing the family, parenting and education has to be changed. Heather Has Two Mommies is being taught in Massachusetts right now. Some kids aren't ready for that kind of revelation at 5 years old. You are going to change not only what people do behind closed doors, but you're going to do major change to academic institutions, education, and next generations as well.
All right, Bishop Jackson, do you think homosexuality is a matter of choice?
I believe for many people it really is a matter of choice. And I have ex-gays in our church, people who've come out of the lifestyle who want to get married. It's an amazing thing. And so what we're dealing with now is how shall a relationship be defined, and should it be defined to the detriment of the broader institutions of education, training? Kids are going to be taught certain things in school.
marriage between a man and a woman will heal the desert places in urban America. Ghettos will be revitalized if one man, one woman families are the order of the day.
Can you choose to be gay?
I think that many people do. As I just shared with you, some have chosen to come out of the gay lifestyle.
Can anybody choose? Can you choose? Can I choose? Can you say, wake up today and go, I'm going to put on jeans instead of pants and I'm going to go with Steve instead of Susie?
I believe that why men and women are gay is a very complex process, and for many of them, they may feel like they are hardwired that way.
It will be. When a man and a woman are in the house, poverty is lessened. When a man and a woman are in the house, kids don't go to prison. When man and a woman are in the house, there's less domestic violence. When a man and a woman are in the house, sexual abuse does not happen. When a man and a woman are in the house, there is health, there is healing, there is peace, there is joy, there is security. There is the rule and reign of God in the house. How many understand that when we're dealing with a radical homosexual agenda that is trying to take over the nation, that one of the things that they've got is organization, and the other thing they got is money? One man, one woman is God's architectural plan so that the desert places of urban America will bloom and blossom like a rose. You need to pull them back in the back room and go through every verse, every understanding. They need to be able to bring a New Testament apologetic on why homosexuality is not the will of God, why God didn't make anybody that way, and why it's all right to speak up, speak out, and keep on speaking. It matters that Black Lives Matter has at the head a few lesbians who are against the patriarchal society. You see, black people can say this. White folks, you have a hard time saying this about Black Lives Matter.
Right. Yeah.
See, Black Lives Matter is true. The fact that there does need to be a value of human life, but by destroying biblical foundations, you can never arrive at God's justice.
That's it.
So as you can see, he composes himself really well when he does, interviews and speeches and whatnot. He tries, to be civil, even though, he's a very, I guess you could say hateful individual, although he tries to portray himself as, just being a standard run-of-the-mill Christian. But the good news is that while he was alive, he got to witness everything just crashing down right before his eyes. Gay marriage legal, trans rights, transgender, he got to witness a trans woman getting elected into office. He also got to witness, 2 openly gay black men get elected into office, all during the Trump administration. So this is that was absolutely amazing, and the sad thing is that he won't get to see any more, LGBT victories. And we all know the one thing that offends Christians the most is, seeing gay people succeed. And that's, one of the sad things about him passing is that he'll never ever get the chance, to, come to terms with everything and, apologize for all the stuff that he did. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about Bishop Jackson in case the video wasn't enough. Bishop Harry Jackson Jr. is an influential Maryland pastor and evangelical advisor to President Donald Trump. He died Monday at the age of 66, according to his church. It is with a heavy heart that we notify you that our beloved Bishop Harry Jackson Jr. has transitioned to be with the Lord on November 9, 2020. Officials with Hope Christian Church said in a statement. Jackson, whose cause of death remains unclear, was invited to the White House for multiple occasions over the past few years, including a Good Friday prayer that he led at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. He also attended Trump's closing speech at the Republican National Convention in August, and recently joined a Rose Garden event where the president nominated now Justice Amy Coney Barrett to the U.S. Supreme Court, the religious news service reported. The crowded ceremony features numerous maskless attendees, was branded a super spreader event, as about a dozen people later tested positive for COVID-19, including Donald Trump, Jackson reportedly tested negative after the event. The late pastor was the founder and chairman of the High Impact Leadership Coalition, which seeks to educate and empower church leaders on how to improve their communities. He was also an author and leading researcher on black churches. Those who knew Jackson shared numerous loving messages on his church's Facebook page following Monday's announcement. He was my spiritual father, and he taught me so much, Babs Rodriguez wrote. His words from the Lord brought me through many difficulties, a true teacher of the faith. I will be forever thankful for all you did, Bishop Jackson. Bishop was a father figure to me and so many, said Candace Gunn. Without him, I'm not sure where me and my family would be right now. What an incredible spiritual father and leader, Audrey Burke wrote. It's tough to hear you are gone, but what an investment you made in others, and what a legacy you left. Praying God's comfort and strength for Bishop's wife, daughters, and church family. Like I said, I don't really believe in, the afterlife, but I do believe in redemption. And, even at 66 years old, that's still pretty young. If he was still alive, he would have time to, redeem himself with all the stuff that he did. He said a lot of things, because, with all the anti-gay activism and all the anti-gay marriage speeches and sermons that he's given, who knows how many people in his congregation that were, secretly gay and, might have harmed themselves. This guy probably did a lot of damage to the LGBTQ community. Here you got a picture of him next to Alveda King, who ironically is just as homophobic as he is. It's a shame, being related to Dr. King and you're using his legacy to, be a hateful person. But that's besides the point, Bishop Jackson was just, a terrible human being, but I do believe that he deserved, a chance for redemption. Now, if there is a God, then he'll have to answer for all that. But that's all I have to say about this. Just wanted to report on this story about another unfortunate death of 2020. Like I said, I've had my own personal issues with Pastor Jackson, Bishop Jackson, I should say, and, my condolences go out to, him and his family, his kids, all of his close friends. But, I had to speak about this because, I know there's a lot of people out there that have these same, hateful views. And my thing is this. When you grow out, when you pass away, is that what you want people to remember you as? A homophobic bigot, or a sexist, or a racist, or whatever type, whatever form of prejudice that you believe in. Is that how you want to go out, and is that what you want to be remembered by? Or do you want to have, a positive legacy? Oh, this guy fought for my rights. This guy did everything for me. This guy, inspired me. This guy, he protected me. He was a really generous person. He was a really thoughtful and caring person. Or do you want to go out and have people say, good riddance, this guy was a filthy person, this guy was disgusting, this guy, he caused me a lot of pain in my childhood. But that's all I have to say. You guys stay safe, stay metal, have a gay day, and I'll see you guys next time.